Fire Mountain is one of the most talked about neighborhoods in Oceanside. Buyers relocating from LA, the Bay Area, and even out of state, they all end up asking the same thing. Is it actually worth it? Because when you're looking at a price tag of $1.4 to $2.4 million in a city people still think as the affordable one, that's a fair question. So today I'm going to give you the honest answer. The schools, the lot sizes, the ocean views, what holds value and what doesn't, and the daily lifestyle trade-offs that nobody puts in the listing description. By the end of this video, you'll know whether Fire Mountain is the right fit for you or whether you're paying for something you don't actually need. Before we get into it, let me give you a quick frame of reference. Fire Mountain is a roughly 2,500 home neighborhood on the west side of Oceanside. No HOA on most single family homes. No master plan, no cookie cutter streets. It's an established, eclectic neighborhood that developed over several decades, which means you get a real mix of architecture, lot sizes, and price points. In 2025, 67 single family homes sold here. Median price was $1.46 million. Median days on market, 22. And the highest recorded sale hit $2.48 million. These numbers tell you something important. This neighborhood moves, but why it moves and whether that justifies the premium for your situation, that's what we're unpacking today. Let's start with schools, because for move-up buyers, especially families relocating from out of state, this is often the first thing that either sells the neighborhood or kills the deal. Fire Mountain sits in the Oceanside Unified School District. What makes it stand out is the two schools, Palmquist Elementary and Lincoln Middle School, that are actually inside the neighborhood. We're not talking about a 10-minute drive during morning carpool chaos. We're talking about a walkable or short drive situation within the same community your kids already live in. For families coming from cities where school access is complicated or competitive, this is a meaningful quality of life upgrade. You're not mapping your commute around drop-off windows or paying private school tuition to solve the school problem. That convenience has real value, and it's reflected in the price. Now, I want to be transparent. Oceanside Unified is not the same as Carlsbad Unified. If you're specifically prioritizing school district rankings above all else, Carlsbad is going to be the comparison point. But if schools within the neighborhood and solid public access matter more than district name recognition, Fire Mountain holds up well. Lot sizes and what you're actually buying. One of the things that surprises buyers when they actually get into Fire Mountain is the lot sizes. This is not a neighborhood of 600 square feet patches of grass. You're looking at genuine yard space, room for a pool, room for an ADU, room to feel like you own land, not just a structure. The homes range widely, from older California ranch-style homes with solid bones to fully renovated properties with modern finishes and square footages that can hit 3,000 square feet and beyond. But here's the important nuance that I always walk buyers through. Not all of Fire Mountain is the same price for the same reason. The eastern side, streets like Laurel and Avocado up near Fire Mountain Drive, those are your view homes. As you gain elevation, you gain ocean and canyon views, and that's directly where the price goes. We're talking about 1.8 to 2.4 million and up for the premium view properties. The western side, streets like Kurtz, that's your $1.5 to $1.6 million range. Larger lots in many cases, that same Fire Mountain feel with mature trees and real character, but not always an ocean view. So if you're buying space and neighborhood, not panorama. Then there's the North Pocket, streets like Skylark, Sarbonne, Cornish, and Partridge, which is the entry point for Fire Mountain. Smaller lots, older tract homes, but you're still in Fire Mountain. That's where the value conversation starts for buyers who want the zip code without the full premium. Understanding which part of Fire Mountain you're actually shopping in changes everything about whether the price makes sense. The view premium. Is it real? Let me talk about the view premium specifically because this is where some buyers get tripped up. Yes, the ocean views from the upper streets in Fire Mountain are real. On a clear day, and we get a lot of these, you're looking at a genuine coastal panorama. That's not marketing language. That's what you see when you're standing in the driveway. But here's the honest buyer question you need to ask yourself. How much is that view actually worth to you in daily life? Because a view home at $2 million plus versus a western side non-view home at $1.5 or $1.6 million is a difference. That's not a rounding error. So you need to decide. Are you someone who will sit on that deck every evening and feel like you got exactly what you paid for? Or are you someone who will be inside cooking dinner most nights? And the view is more of a psychological comfort than a daily use feature. I'm not telling you which answer is right. I'm telling you that the buyers who feel best about their Fire Mountain purchase are the ones who made that decision consciously, not the ones who bought the view home because it felt like the obvious upgrade. What I can tell you is that resale data supports the view premium. View properties in elevated neighborhoods consistently hold and appreciate stronger than comparable non-view properties. And in Fire Mountain specifically, the limited inventory of true ocean view lots means that scarcity works in your favor long-term. Resale strength and long-term value. Speaking of resale, let's talk about what the numbers actually show. 22 days on market at a 1.46 million median is not a soft market. That's a neighborhood where qualified buyers are competing for inventory. And when you compare that to Carlsbad or Encinitas, where similar square footage and lot size can push you to the 1.8, 2 million, and more, Fire Mountain's relative value position becomes clearer. You're 2 miles from the beach. You're close to the 78 and the 5, which matters enormously for buyers who work in San Diego proper or commute north towards Camp Pendleton and San Clemente. You have no HOA fees eating into your monthly costs, and you're in a neighborhood with genuine architectural variety, which means it doesn't feel dated or stale the way master plan communities can. All of those factors contribute to consistent demand. Fire Mountain isn't a neighborhood that had one great year. It's a neighborhood that has attracted move-up buyers consistently because the fundamentals are sound. The one caveat I'll give you, because the neighborhood is so varied, your specific block and street matter a lot. Down Street and Hunsaker are busier through streets. Traffic is part of the equation there. If you're on a quieter street with the right lot and good elevation, your resale position is strong. If you're on a busy street with no view and an older home that needs work, you're in a different conversation. Work with someone who knows the microgeography, because in Fire Mountain, it genuinely matters. Daily lifestyle, the honest trade-offs. Now let me give you the lifestyle reality check, because this is the part of the listing photos don't cover. The good stuff first. You're 2 miles from the beach, not conceptually close, actually close. Buccaneer Beach, the harbor area, the Strand, these are all a 20-minute bike ride or 10-minute drive from your driveway. That matters for how your weekends feel. El Corazon Park is nearby for hiking and open space. The neighborhood itself has a settled residential energy. Mature trees, neighbors who've been here for a while. Dogs being walked, it doesn't feel transient. Now the honest stuff. Fire Mountain is not walkable in the traditional sense, unless you're on the west side. You're not walking to coffee or grabbing groceries on foot. You will need a car for daily errands, and some of the main access roads, Vista Way, El Camino Real, carry real traffic volume, especially during morning commutes. That's not a deal breaker for most buyers in this price range, but if walkability is a core value for you, you should factor that in. The marine layer is also real. That's true for most of coastal North County, but Fire Mountain's elevation means some mornings feel gray well into the afternoon in June and July, what locals call June gloom. By August, it burns off fast and the views pay off. But if you're coming from Phoenix or Denver expecting year-round sun every morning, calibrate your expectations. And finally, this neighborhood has no HOA. That's a pro for most people. No dues, no restrictions, no board meetings, and it also means your neighbor's landscaping choices are their own business. The neighborhood upkeep is generally mixed. You'll see beautifully maintained properties next to homes that haven't been updated in 20 years. That's part of the character, and it's also part of why the price range varies as widely as it does. Who Fire Mountain is actually for. So let me bring this all together with the buyer profile question. Who is Fire Mountain actually the right fit for? You're a strong fit if You're a move-up buyer coming from a condo or townhome or a smaller home, and you want real yard space, real square footage, and a neighborhood that feels established and permanent. You have kids or plan to, and having schools in the neighborhood matters to your daily quality of life. You've looked at Carlsbad and Encinitas, and you've done the math. You can get more home for your money here while still being in coastal North County with strong long-term value. And you're comfortable with some variation of the neighborhood because you understand that's also what gives it character and upside. You might be looking at the wrong neighborhood if walkability is a non-negotiable for you. You need the top-rated school district in the region above all else, or you want the kind of uniformity and polish that comes with a newer master plan community. Fire Mountain isn't that, and it's never going to be. The bottom line, the premium in Fire Mountain is real, but so is the value underneath it. 2 miles from the beach, no HOA, actual lot sizes, schools in the neighborhood, and a 22-day turnover at 1.46 million tells you this market isn't bluffing. The buyers who win here are the ones who understand which part of Fire Mountain they're in and make a deliberate decision about what they're buying and why. If you're doing your research on Fire Mountain or comparing it to other Oceanside neighborhoods, I'd love to help you dig deeper. I work specifically in this market. I know the streets, I know the price differences block by block, and I'm happy to walk you through what's actually available right now. Drop your questions in the comments below. I read every one of them. And if you want to get into a real conversation about what your budget gets you in Fire Mountain versus Carlsbad versus Southo, the link to reach me directly is in the description. If this video was helpful, please subscribe. I put out real, honest content about North County, San Diego every week. Not the highlight reel version, the actual buyer's guide version. I'll see you in the next one.